There was a beggar at a railway station in a city. He used to beg the passengers on the train to fill his stomach. One day, when he was begging, he saw a tall man in a suit and a boot. He thought, "This man looks very rich. If I beg him, he will definitely give me good money." He begged the tall man. The tall man looked at the beggar and said, "You always ask for something. Do you ever give anything to anyone?" The beggar said, "Sir, I am a beggar. I always ask people for something. I am not worthy enough to give anything to anyone." The tall man said, "When you can't give anything to anyone, then you have no right to ask for anything. I am a businessman, and I believe in giving and taking. If you have anything to give me, only then can I give you anything in return." After saying so much, the tall man sat in the train and left. Here the beggar started thinking about what he had been told. What was said by that tall man fell into the heart of that beggar. He thought that maybe I don't get much money because I can't give anything to anyone in return. But I am a beggar. I am not even capable of giving anything to anyone. But for how long will I keep asking people for nothing? After thinking a lot, the beggar decided that whoever begs him, in return, he will also give something to that person. But now he had this question in his mind, that if he is a beggar himself, then what can he give others in return for the alms? It took him 2 days to think about this, but he did not get any answer to his question. On the third day, when he was sitting near the station, he saw some flowers that were blooming on the plants around the station. He thought, "Why don't I give some flowers to people in return for their sacrifice?" He liked this idea, and he plucked some flowers from there. Now he went to ask for a sacrifice in the train. Now, whenever someone gave him a sacrifice, he would give some flowers to the person who gave him a sacrifice in return. People would keep those flowers happily with them. The beggar broke the flowers every day and distributed the flowers to the people in return. Within a few days, he realized that he had been given too many flowers. He broke all the flowers near the station. As long as he had flowers, many people would give him alms. But when the flowers were distributed, he would not even get alms. Now it continued like this every day. One day when he was asking for alms, he saw that the same tall man was sitting in the train, which inspired him to give flowers in return for the alms. He immediately reached the man and asked for alms. "Today, I have some flowers to give you. If you give me some alms, I will give you some flowers in return." The tall man gave him some money in the form of alms, and the beggar gave him some flowers. The tall man liked this very much. He said, "Wow, what a thing. Today you two have become a businessman like me." Saying this, the tall man got off at a station with the flowers. But what that tall man said once again fell into the beggar's heart. He kept thinking about what that tall man said and became very happy. His eyes started to shine. He felt that now he had the key to success, through which he could change his life. He immediately got off the train and, looking up at the sky in a very loud voice, said, "I am not a beggar. I am a businessman. I can also become rich." When people saw him, they thought that maybe this beggar has gone crazy, and from the next day, that beggar was never seen again at that station. But after 6 months, 2 people were traveling in suit and boots at the same station. When they saw each other, one of them shook hands with the other and said, "Did you recognize me?" The other person said, "No, because according to me, we are meeting for the first time." The first person said, "No, you remember, we are meeting for the 3rd time, not the first time." The second person said, "I don't remember. By the way, when did we first meet twice?" Now the first person smiled and said, "We had met twice on this train before. I am the same beggar whom you told in the first meeting what I should do in life, and told in the second meeting who I really am." The other person smiled and said in amazement, "Oh, I remember. You are the same beggar whom I refused to give alms once, and bought some flowers from you the second time. But where are you going in this suit boot today? And what are you doing these days?" Then the first person said, "Yes, I am the same beggar. But today I am a very big businessman of flowers, and I am going to another city for this business." After a while, he said again, "You told me the law of nature in the first meeting, according to which we get something only when we give something. This rule of trading actually works. I have felt this very well, but I always thought of myself as a beggar. I never thought of it beyond this. And when I met you for the second time, you told me that I had become a businessman. Now I understood that I am not really a beggar, but a businessman. I understood why people were giving me so much money. Because they were not giving me money, but were paying the price of those flowers. Everyone was buying my flowers, because where would they get cheaper flowers than this? I was a small businessman in people's eyes, but I was a beggar in my own eyes. When you told me, I understood that I am a small businessman. I bought a lot of flowers from the money I had collected from distributing flowers on the train and became a flower merchant. People here love flowers very much, and their love of flowers has made me a very big flower merchant today. Both the merchants were now happy, and when they got to the station, they got off and went ahead talking about their business. Friends, we get to learn a lot from this story. The longtime businessman in the story knew the rules of give and take very well. All the great businessmen in the world have succeeded in using the rules of this life. He also told this formula to the beggar. The beggar adopted this natural rule, and its effect began to appear clear in his life. He changed his mind, and his life changed. This story tells us that if we change our thinking, then anything can be achieved. If we consider ourselves small, we will always remain small. To become big, we have to change our thinking and think big about ourselves. The essence of the story is that success is hidden in your thinking. Awaken your self-respect. Make your thinking big and see how you reach the peak of success.